The Amazing Spider-Man, also billed as Spider-Man, is a 3D custom concept monster truck owned by Feld Motorsports and owned by Marvel Comics and Sony Entertainment, based on the comic book character of the same name. It originally debuted in 2001 as a 63 Chevrolet Cheetah and was run until the end of 2003. It would be it would receive its first revival in 2010 and was run until at the end of 2014. The truck made its re-debut once again with the third renewal of the Marvel contract in 2023. Can't, I can't wait to see the new body. Spider-Man first debuted on in Oakland, California on January 5th, 2001 with an unknown driver who is stated to be Leo Donald. Brandon Harrington and Leo Donald would drive the truck during the winter season. Charlie Pauken would drive the truck at the second Pontiac show. Gary Porter took over the truck after took the truck to the Monster Jam World Finals 2, where they would lose in round 1 and would finish 7th in freestyle with a 31. During the same season, the truck also performed the steel wall stunt as Mr. Destruction on 2 occasions, driven by Dennis Anderson. And never mind. Lee would temporarily stop driving in Monster Jam and he would leave the team. He would return to the spot in 2006 driving Monster Mutt. Brandon Harrington would temporarily leave the team to drive Vet King. And Charlie Pauken and Carl Van Horn would drive the truck during the season in select events, while Carl would famously get a racing win in Tampa, Florida, beating Tom Mintz. And I'm about to see that mud bath. The truck later would make its only video game appearance in Monster Jam Maximum Destruction. No relation to the real life Maximum Destruction. At the World Finals, the chassis was used for Team Mintz in the Encore. Later in the year, Bobby Z would drive Spider-Man in France at the final show in Minneapolis, Minnesota to the end of the year. I do apologize for my voice. Anyway, Brandon Harrington returns to Spider-Man alongside rookie driver George Balhan, where they would drive two different Spider-Man trucks during the winter season. Brandon's truck is run on the former Sting Vet King chassis, while Balhan's was a new built original Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man chassis became Demolition Man and was driven by Bobby Z for 3 steel wall stunts. It also was run as Vet King for 2 occasions under George Balhan, while Z drove Balhan's Spider-Man truck. Balhan's truck was used for Monster Jam World Finals 4, driven by Bobby Z. Z and Harrington's truck would return to being Vet King at the same weekend. Later in the year, Monster Jam's original Marvel sponsorship was expired, and Spider-Man was retired at the same time. George Balhan would move to Blue Thunder. Bobby would move to Monster Mutt, and Brandon continued to drive Vet King. Balhan Z's Spider-Man chassis would go on to become the new Demolition Man for 2004. The original chassis becomes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles later in the year. In 2010, it was announced that Marvel would rejoin Feld Motorsports in 2010. Spider-Man would be returning alongside with the new Iron Man truck. Spider-Man later made its return, driven by Wilt Tarleton, where he drove the truck in the Freestyle Mania tour. The truck also made feature in the new. The truck would also feature a new updated paint scheme, abrupt with suffer a rather violent crash during freestyle while attempting to clear the double stack. I have it all mixed up. I'm sorry. Brought the same cheetah body style. Chad Tingler drove the truck in Monster Jam World Finals 11, where the truck would suffer a rather violent crash during freestyle while attempting to clear the double stack. Gary Porter drove the truck in Philadelphia, and Ryan Anderson drove the truck in Cincinnati, where he won freestyle. Dana Creech also drove it in Costa Rica and Panama. Following the following year, the truck competed in Freestyle Mania once again under Tarleton. Chad would once again compete in the World Finals, notably getting a 4 in freestyle after breaking early in his run. Dana Creech drove the truck again in Derby and Madrid. Hold on, shoot bug. Wilt would leave the Spider-Man team to move to Monster Mutt, and Barry Musauer took over his driving duties. He would later be invited to win the inaugural Young Gun Shootout at Monster Jam World Finals 13. Though Barry didn't receive a final spot in the main field, with the premise of not being incorporated yet. Tingler then competed for the last time in the Monster Jam World Finals in Spider-Man. Later in the year, the truck took part in the Monster Jam Path of Destruction and Team Marvel versus Team Destruction competitions under Barry Musauer. The following year, Barry makes his World Finals debut in Spider-Man at World Finals 14. He would make history at the event as Ray. Not only the first African American to compete in the World Finals, but also the first African American to win a race at the World Finals, notably making it to the semifinals, only to, yeah, he won the semifinals because Bounty Hunter had lost an engine. Anyway, the truck later runs as the People of Baltimore in Baltimore, Maryland. The, the truck later debuts a brand new chassis in 2014. Later, Bari takes the truck to another World Finals appearance at World Finals 15. Bari notably finished in last place at said event in freestyle. Scott Liddycoat later drives it in Costa Rica. John Seasock drives the truck for the second Team Marvel versus Team Destruction shows in Arnhem, Holland. He would also drove it in Stockholm, Sweden. This would be Spider-Man's final year of competition in Monster Jam before the second Marvel sponsorship expired. Bari would move to Zombie, which would go on to become his signature truck, the Spider-Man body, what is later seen in a live stream held at the Monster Jam headquarters in Florida. The body was seen once again in photos revealing it to be the Marvel Monster Trucks live display chassis from 2012. The display chassis is later run as Megalodon Fire. The truck also featured in a YouTube poll asking fans what their favorite discontinued monster truck is. And the new Spider-Man truck is later to be debuted this year. Can't wait to see it. And other people, never mind. Spider-Man is currently the only Marvel truck to have been a part of all three contracts with Marvel. Gary Porter the only driver known to have driven both of the first and second iterations of the Spider-Man truck. In 2010 and in 2011, Monster Jam yearbooks incorrectly state that the truck has a custom concept body. The only thing custom about it is it's painted to look like Spider-Man. In 2012, Spider-Man, along with other all other existing Marvel trucks at the time where it were originally scheduled to compete in at a unique event called Marvel Monster Trucks Live. The event, however, was eventually canceled a year before it was meant to take place, likely because of the show being too complicated and expensive to create. Oh, okay. Barry and the truck were the only showdown champion to not receive the final invite into the world finals main field due to the idea of the inner competing in the event not being incorporated into competition yet. Now that is confusing. Despite the truck's multiple drivers being from different hometown and locations, the the truck would often be billed as being from New York City, the site of Marvel's headquarters, and Spider-Man's hometown. The crawling Spider-Man art on the 2001-2003 versions of the hood was originally drawn in a comic by Mark Bagley for Ultimate Spider-Man #3, November 2000, while the 2010-2014 version done by Scott Jordan whose art was used for many Marvel products at the time.